Oh yeah, let's get all the way into it. In there, flex and repeat. And you say New York City, express and repeat, and you say worldwide. Ay, 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 you know the vibe. It's your guy. It's your guy. What's up, babies out there? Peace, peace, peace. Love and elevation to all those that find themselves with their higher selves. Flex and repeat. You already know the vibes. We're going to get into it in a second. Just let a few more people come in the room, or nah. You know, we only waiting for a few seconds anyway, just so I can get my paperwork out so we can have this chat, this divine conversation. You feel me? Peace, peace, peace. Flex, flex, flex. Elevation and love. What we got going on the docket today? Be the dope you want to smoke. Big shouts go out to my guy Tom Duncan. Almost call him Tim Duncan like that. For making these. I don't know if you could see it. Once I get too close, it disappears and shit. But these right here are how I'm going to be presenting my business furthermore when I'm in the street. So if someone asks me for a business card, I'll just be pulling out my blue bite and just hit the blue bite with your NFC, and it's donezo, and then you're gonna get all the information that you need. This technology does exist already, but I think I fucks with Mr. Duncan. I like the style, the aesthetic. I like the durability of it because this is something that needs to be A1. All right. Speaking of being A1, be the dope you want to smoke. You're the master of your own time and space. You are the embodiment of infinite possibilities. So you must move as such. You must have that more focused and guided understanding that you are the greatest thing to ever have existed and to be in existence. It don't mean that you're better than me. It don't mean that you're better than anybody. It just means that you're better than your best. Why is that important? Because if you think for a second, for one moment, that you might not or that you cannot, then you will not, because that's what we live in. We live in a space of will. You're the master of your own time and space. Now, I speak to my kindreds only. The deaf can't hear this, so while I'm speaking, they only hear banter. You understand what I'm saying? So it doesn't really matter if they're paying attention or not, because what really matters is about your own personal experience and how you create the space to which is fragrance. Fragrance. What does it take to be fragrant? Well, let's go ask a rose. I mean, a rose ain't gonna put you on the game, but I'm sure you could think about it and understand that there's a certain regimen daily that is necessary in order for the rose to be fragrant. I say this all the time, guys. I'm gonna continue to say this, my kindred. You know, there's levels to this shit. You know, there is metaphysical levels, there's actual scientific levels, and then there's miracles. And those all are in a sandwich together because the miracles are the magic all in that. Please ask the question. Feel free and ask the question. I have no issues with a question being asked. But the levels, right? What's that, Jem? Love, absolute love. I appreciate y'all 1,000-fold. What do you do with procrastination? You identify and eradicate procrastination. So someone was asking just now, what do you do with procrastination? So procrastination in perspective is just stagnicity on something that you have the ability to do. Stagnicity usually occurs from discouragement or feeling like you have enough time to do the thing. Once you've become into the conscious mind to understand that schedules are important, and when you start a schedule and when you finish a schedule are aligned, so you have to keep in a certain pace, then there is no procrastination. So reminding yourself to keep a certain type of schedule, a certain type of habit, then you won't find procrastination. You might find moments where you're at a blank. Now, if your brain is moving at a certain pace, then you're going to need a certain diet. When you find your space, like where you get frustrated or you're something's not moving as fast as you wanted it to, First of all, if something isn't moving as fast as you wanted it to, it's because you have other things that you need to cater to. You feel me? So the statement is, the first question is what do you do with procrastination? And the second expression is, I feel like weed is making me procrastinate. Then, so it's like when an individual as yourself is in realization. Now we start to forge what is it that we require in order to not feel the way we've identified, and now change the way we feel by action. It's very simple, right? The only complexity is after you've created the identification, the understanding, like, yo, I feel stagnant. I can't be smoking so much. Or when you have to identify this thing in 360 degrees in order to be able to assess it. You have to know when you smoke, how much you're smoking, because maybe it's the amount that you're smoking. Maybe it's the time that you're smoking. Maybe it's, because everybody has their own algorithm. So there's a certain time and place for you to be doing what you need to be doing. And if you haven't scheduled what needs to be taken care of firstly, then you don't have any time for leisure or any time to build upon the spirit. You understand what I'm saying? And I know that sounds super insane, but it's like we have a physical obligation here. This is a vibrational space that we live in, and everything that we do contributes to vibration. So we have to be available for that. And your abilities, your ways, your dopeness is going to help you to carry through that. You know, that's your algorithm that becomes more prevalent to you once you walk in a certain direction, talk in a certain way, move and maneuver in a certain way. Procrastination is like writer's block. It's only available once you identify that shit. And when you find yourself in this, because you have a stimulant or something like that, this is kombucha, but because you can even get the itis when you eat too much. And that can make you procrastinate. Know what you have to take care of firstly. And thank you for asking that question, because it's really helping to keep us grounded right now. Know what you have to take care of firstly. And take care of those things. You're not going to shit on yourself. You're going to go to the bathroom and you're going to go take a shit where it needs to be done, how it needs to be done, when it needs to be done. Correct. Maybe you're smoking a blunt during that time. Maybe not. But you're only going to take the things that you need for the moment in those moments. And that's where prosperity lies. That's where procrastination dies. Okay? Is when you start to actively smack procrastination, stagnicity in the face, identifying it as it's a child in the room, and not catering to its crying, its wailing, but relating, understanding. Because you're never ever going to get rid of something, you know? You can only relate to it. You can only distance yourself from it. You know, the sun is always going to be there. The sun is out there even when we're not paying attention to it. And when it's up and in our space, or we're sharing space with each other, we have to have a relationship with it. So I hope that helps with giving you a perspective on procrastination and what that dynamic is. You know, of course, procrastination physically can be caused from stimulants, especially through habit. Me, for instance, when I find myself in this space of continuous repetition, and it becomes monotonous, it becomes just something that's just like regular and madness, I have to back away from it. I sometimes even smoke a bit just to slow down the frequency a bit. But then there's times when I consume to brighten my space, because there's an expansion in the calm. You just have to find out how to surf through your experience. You can be procrastinative and uncomfortable at any moment with anything. Now, I'm not saying don't practice on attempting to back off the bud, but definitely once you've backed away from it, always if you feel like something is holding you back, take a week away from it. Always. Always, always, always. People, places, and things, ladies and gentlemen, my kindred. If you feel like something is pulling at you too much and you have an ability to step away from it, do such, and do it for 7 days. You need the 7. You're going to cut it away, and then you're going to see how valuable it is. Once you've seen how valuable it is, then you can start to incorporate it in your life the way you desire. If you know that before, last week, because you consumed too much of it, knocked you out, and then it messed you up for the next day, then you know, I do enjoy this. I do have a relationship. This is people, places, and things. I do have a relationship with it. I'm going to only engage at nighttime. I'm going to only engage at this time specifically. And if I've missed this time to engage with that on the day, it's no big deal because I still have next week. And if I don't have next week, it's not going to matter because I'm not in next week. I'm not there. So enjoy your moment. Moderate yourself. You don't have to drink as much as people are drinking. You don't have to do the things that people are doing as long as, unless it's something of the vibration of love, at the tone of love, at the tone of unity and harmony. That's the only thing that I say, yo, move forward into. But you could question everything and question love. But don't sit there all day questioning it because you're going to miss out. Because his love is a real thing, sun rays. And they have an expiration within the space and time. So the sun beams and it's going to go through and through eternity. But you're only going to feel it for that moment that it hits you and that you acknowledge it, that it's there, unless you're going to cruise with the sunbeams. Now we're going esoteric. Now we're going to the Most High. You feel me? Peace. So I think that understanding is really about the experience that you have and enjoying the sunshine just to be simple. Just to say it simply, it's like, the sun is doing more than we can visualize physically. And it's doing less than we think. It's not this conscious shooting beams at people to make this come up and this grow and that not grow and the desert's there. The sun is the sun, and it's there in its radiance, period. You don't even know specifically, you ain't got a map to know specifically where the sun is. Yes, they might tell you it's this so many miles away from the earth. But what's real to you? What's really real to you? You feel me? And we have that understanding, and we move with that understanding. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. Because that's where happiness lies. The only time complexity is beautiful when it's in compound, when it's in contrast of harmony. That when there's multitude, and then that multitude lines up with each other out of love. That's what harmony is, y'all. The harmony that lies within you is the acceptance of your rager, the acceptance of your higher state, the acceptance of your low sexual energies, the acceptance of your fear, or not fear, but intuition. See, we misidentify intuition with something being fear-based because it's something contrary to what our physical being wants to do. Let that sit in for a second. Your intuition is you. It is the Most High. It is the being to which has been ancient and is telling you this is familiar from our history, from our grand understanding. So maybe you want to drive slow. Maybe you want to move like this. These are the things that we need to be in tune with only at all times. Your intuition moves with you. I'll show you how dope your intuition is. Your intuition is so dope, it moves with you in your dream realm. When you're moving in your dream realm, if you've ever had a lucid dream, it'll tell you some shit or you'll feel some shit. You're still the same being. That's why this physical being is a physical being. That's why when we have the ability to hug and touch each other, we should love each other. We need to be up on each other like that, around your kindred. Like tigers ain't hugging monkeys. Maybe not. Maybe on a rare occasion. But on your kindred. You know what I'm saying? Peace isn't always supposed to be abundant everywhere. It's just like the sun. It is where it needs to be, when it needs to be there. Giving what it needs to give, and there's no regimen. Because sometimes the sun's hot as a motherfucker some days. Sometimes it's not. There's a reality behind our relationship with the sun. The sun is you. The relationship to which you have with yourself. The radiance to which you give off. The amount of energy that you need, centripetal energy that you need, the circular force 360 dyes that you need in order to be fragrant, available, truthful, fearless. It takes energy. It takes less distraction. Let me tell you why you think they, look, we on this phone right now, but why do you think that we have all of these buttons to push? Because the ones that we need to be tinkering with are inside. And once we have, they're very easy to identify, but difficult to relate to if you don't have it. I'll say it again. The buttons to which are inside of you are easy to identify. You can identify your anger. You can identify your happiness. You can identify any part or portion of you. But the relationship that you keep with these individual identifications is massively important and tedious. And can only, I'll say the reality of tedious, I apologize, I'm going to read the lucid dream in a moment, but the reality behind something being tedious in our understanding is, oh my God, I got to do it, it's so much of this. When walking and talking and blinking is tedious. Blinking is tedious if you thought about it, but it's something that's necessary and appropriate for the space, and it's so much finesse that we do it when we need to do it. We don't blink on command like, yo, he's about to blink. It's moving where it needs to move, and it's doing it at an abundance. You feel me? Let's take a pause from that thought and read what the comment says. So it says, are lucid dreams real? Oh, I hope you're still in the room, baby. But lucid dreams are definitely real. Lucid dreams are your ability to walk amongst the other space that you reside. It's all yours. If you're grand consciousness, if whatever section of life you believe in, it's all saying this one thing, that the grand consciousness made your ass in this physical form. So dreams is just that transference, it's that space between. It's another realm, but it's all parallel. Nothing is finite, everything is secular. So your dream realm is your reality realm, and your reality realm is your dream realm, and then there's other dimensions that are all around that as well. So dreams are definitely real. Lucid dreaming is absolutely real, because that's that accessibility. But how you lucid dream is literally how you tell yourself what you're going to do for the next day before you go to sleep. How you conduct yourself during the day when you're in this realm, because you're carrying some of those thoughts and ideas, and then you're carrying ideas of what needs to be accomplished, and then you're sandwiching those, and then the unknown and the newly revealed comes together in that, and then that's the movie. It's a beautiful place, the dream realm. If you're eating, thinking, and drinking right, and being around the right people, your dream ability is magnificent. There is more than just this place, but because of all the button pushing, they want you to be solid here. Why do you think we have these boxes around us? I looked around me, because I'm in a room right now. But why do you think we have all of this? We have all of this to keep us here, to make you feel like it's so important to be here. The only thing that's important about being here is love. That we are able to make love on many different levels and vibrations and mingle it with the other spectrums of the Most High to which we are. But I am this. If I'm indigo, I'm indigo. And I have blue brothers to my left, and red sisters to my right. And there's a vibrational harmony that comes together when we pull together. But I'm indigo. In this life experience, I'm indigo. In this physical being, I'm indigo, and I have to mesh with you in order for us to create this palette of amazingness, of dopeness. So how can you lucid dream if you don't even dream? Firstly, if you're having difficulty dreaming, change your diet. Stop with the sugar. Stop with the sugar. Stop with the sugar. Drink more water. And did I mention stop with the sugar? Yes, it's destroying us. At the least, it destroys your enamel on your teeth. You know what I was told the other day? That the level of pH changes in our mouths. It's obvious, right? Because of the moisture and the heat and all the rest of the acids that are in your mouth. But if it goes under I think a 0.5 or something like that. It goes to like 3 something pH, and it starts to become acidic. That's where tooth decay starts. So, it's knowing exactly what is necessary in order to sustain this being is massively important. And it's effortless and it's timeless once you've figured it out, because then you're going to do something else. The caterpillar just consumes and consumes and consumes. It knows what it needs to consume, how it needs to consume it, how much of it needs to consume in a daily process, but it's not sitting there with a checkbook or anything to make sure it gets that in. It just does it. You feel me? So let's take a break from what I'm saying and read for a moment. Because how you lucid dream is, if you have a pretty good diet, right, is taking, you take some time before you go to sleep, because I was just reading this down there. Peace, Cap. You take some time before you go to sleep. You make sure that, now this is a practice that I do. I drink some alkaline water with some sea salt, a little bit of lemon. It regulates my body before I go to sleep. It's not a daily practice, but it should be done daily if you have the ability, but I do it quite often. You do that, you sit down with intention, like anything, like as if you were managing your tomorrow, and you say, look, we're gonna go into this dream realm. We're gonna have complete understanding and availability for whatever we see, for whatever's there. Go into it with something that can keep you tethered, so you can be reminded. So even if it's something like this, or a rubber band, or something that is very small but significant to you, because then you can keep identifying with that thing and know the tether between this realm and the dream realm, and then be able to identify, so look, I have that much control just over my visual, so I must have control over my physical, and so on and so forth. But it's just like walking and talking. You have to practice it. You're not going to be, when we're lucky, you can lucid dream, wow, and it just pops out and you're just having fun and at the party. If you want to be a walker, a dream walker, you have to practice, period. So let me read what you just said. I don't think it's the sugar, I think it's the weed. I stopped weed for 3 months and started dreaming again. Weed, yeah, cannabis does it as well. Cannabis impedes on your dream space. Psilocybin cubanescens is excellent for expansion of the brain. Your dreams actually open up, and if you don't know what psilocybin cubanescens is, that's magic mushrooms. So cannabis does stop your ability to dream, but I think it has something to do more so with the carcinogen, and that it, like when you're smoking it, but also the amount of cannabis that you consume before you go in the dream realm. It just clicks off it clicks off your ability to dream. So if you have too much cannabis in your system, that's why fasting is important. That's why taking a break off of everything, seeing how valuable that thing is, and then reapplying it back into your life to see how it truly, truly benefits you. Muy bueno. But be the dope you want to smoke. I think everybody that's been sitting in the room on this journey that we're having right now. It's funny because I was looking at my 2021 needs, and I see meditation, love, water, stock supply. And that's like, a power source, some seeds, and filters for water. Everything else can kind of be picked up along the way. Great conversation, good company, wisdom, wealth, those things can be picked up along the way. No, it's love. You're welcome, absolutely. You're absolutely welcome, Ashe. You're absolutely welcome. Anytime you want to ask me a question, just tap in. But please, if you're going to make a difference in your relationship with yourself, fast. We just started the month. Today's the second day of the month. It's a wonderful time to fast. I've been fasting since the 28th. No sex, no meat, no dairy, and just making sure that I'm consuming the right amount of me. I appreciate you for that. I truly appreciate you for that. I think we all have our moments of intelligence. I appreciate you for that. You have a good one as well. Definitely, definitely. Flex, 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 flex. I appreciate you. But we will always have a moment to get a grip, a moment to realize, realign. This thing and real is a big thing for me because, you know, when I was a kid, I had this notion. I was like freaking 7 years old, maybe like 8 years old. And I'm like, man, I don't want to go to sleep because if I go to sleep, I lose this awesome part of myself, that too, which is me. And then I'm sitting there in my thoughts. I'm like, but then you gain another part, that too, which is unknown. And you don't, it's like a blank palette of dopeness. It's like, if you already dope, like this is dope where we came in, it's just going to grow. Eating right, thinking right, it's going to be great, right? That means that your tomorrow is infinite. And it has the ability and the choice to be great, to be gracious, to be amazing. But it's set forth through your ideas. So that dream realm, this life, the next realm, all the dimensions around you to which you can tap into at any moment, at any time. Sometimes we find ourselves in these dimensions because of the things around us are unpleasing. And we tap in. I want to say this to you guys before we finish this passage. When I was a kid, I've been through some things. These things have amplified my abilities. You know, when people see me in the streets, it's all love. It's cool. You know, they see me with my golden and all that. I'm New York. You feel me? You feel me? But I'm also big OG shaman. You already know. And I've had the ability to tap into my grander self through some painful situations. And I'll say this. The space to which you truly live in, you truly exist in, is so vast and so infinite that once you have this opportunity to see it, you start to appreciate where you're at right now. When I was younger and I would go into these tragic moments, I would have these opportunities to go into a deep rest and go into the quote-unquote future. So I would be 7 years old, 8 years old, going through tragedy, need to be away from the tragedy, and then come up out of the tragedy, within the tragedy, in a new realm. This dream realm to which we were speaking about. Because see, the space that the dream realm opens up, it opens up the multitude of the dimensions, and we choose to stay within that plane. That plane is the right here. But there's more. There is this relationship that you have with your existence on this earth at this time and at this moment that you should fulfill. That is not easy to obtain, if not done harshly, but absolutely available. You have to practice it. So in order to be in this grander space of relationship with self that I have been in, but through pain, you got to practice a little harder through love. You have to be absolute. You have to be almost in the space of crazy and say, I love, period. Because love is understanding, because love is availability, love is patience. I think I say less with that. And I think I am going to say that deja vu is time travel. When you have these moments of thought, because that's what happened in that dream realm. I started to manifest and dream about myself on a movie set, to which I actually was on that movie set. So like, how did a person at 8 years old know where they were going to be at 30? It's got to tell you something more about this realm. It's got to tell you something more about who and what you are. That's what we're going to tap into for right now. I love you guys. Be the dope you want to smoke. You're the embodiment of infinite possibilities, and there's nothing more beyond you. Flex! And you say New York City, Gina May, Ashe, you already know the vibes. Flex, flex, flex!